Welcome into Hot Mic Sports, everyone. I'm your host, Ben Merrick. I'm so excited to bring you guys this video. This is by far the most excited I've been since my first video recording. This is top 5 power forwards over the next 5 years. And if you watch my small forwards video, you know the names that are classified as a power forward that are in this list. I'm talking about Giannis, I'm talking about Davis, Zion, Tatum. They're all classified as power forwards. Michael Porter Jr. is a power forward. Jaren Jackson, they're all power forwards. I'm so excited to bring you guys this list. It's by far the most talented. It's by far the deepest position so far. And this is our NBA future in this list. So I am so excited to bring you guys this one. If you would like to see videos like this, make sure to subscribe. It doesn't take that long. You just click right here and it's done. It's subscribed. That wasn't the actual place you click. I'm just saying that in case you're a little dumb. But click subscribe, see more videos like this, see NFL videos. I'm dropping just about every day. I might slip up every once in a while, but every day at least is the goal. And I have a ton of video ideas for you guys. So comment your list down below. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, and let's get straight into it. So if you've been watching my top 5 videos, you've noticed that I have 2 honorable mentions, and then which are basically like my 7 and 6, and then I have my 5 through 1. So we're going to get started with my number 7, or my honorable mention, which is Michael Porter Jr. For the Denver Nuggets. He's just finished up his second year. He's shown flashes of being what we wanted him to be coming out of high school, really, because we didn't really see him at Missouri. We didn't really see him in Missouri, but in high school, he was one of the better high school players I've ever seen. He's a complete scorer, great athleticism. There are some flaws that are pretty obvious, and it makes him fall this far. Like, if he was in the small forwards list, he'd be in the top 5, but he's in the deepest list we've seen. He's not as quick. He doesn't have the greatest foot speed, and that also translates over to defense, where his defense is very much lacking. We saw that in the bubble. He was getting exposed on defense. They would constantly switch onto him, especially in the Utah series. They'd have Donovan Mitchell coming down late, getting a screen, and switching on to Porter, and constantly exposing him. That's why he got a lot less minutes in the bubble, and that's something he'll have to address if he wants to be a legit starter in the NBA. But I see him being a very, very valuable scoring option going forward. Like I said, he's a complete scorer. He's going to get you buckets. He has some vision. He can rebound the ball. He has great size. I'm excited to see his future. I think he'll be a very valuable player in this league. I don't know if that'll be with Denver. Should be exciting. But over the next 5 years, I could see him capping out as possibly having a season where he's averaging 17, 18. Depending on where he goes, what his fit is on that team. Like right now, I don't see him capping out at 17, 18 because he's kind of a bench player at this point. But Michael Porter Jr. is definitely a guy to watch. And a valuable asset for any team that he ends up on. So going to number 6, or my other honorable mention, Jonathan Isaac of the Orlando Magic. This is one of my favorite players in the NBA. Definitely one of my favorite to watch. He is a defensive stud. He will clamp up your 1 through 4, your best player. He's a super young guy. Oh, don't want the Powerade ad in there. Not getting paid for that. He is one of the best defenders in the league, and he's so young. His problem is on the offensive side of the ball. He's had struggles scoring. He's averaging around 12, which is fine. If he were to get a point guard that can really pass the ball, like a Ricky Rubio, something like that, if he were to get a point guard like that, I see his numbers jumping up to like 16, 17, in which case maybe he spikes into the top 5. But like I said, this list is incredibly deep, incredibly talented. I'm talking generational talents, superstar talents, MVP talents. Jonathan Isaac isn't that, but I think at his very, very best in his career, he might win a Defensive Player of the Year. He might. I see him being a guy that can maybe average 2 and 2, 2 steals, 2 blocks in a season, maybe get somewhere around 10 points. He is legit, and I really love this guy, Jonathan Isaac. He is. I really love him. I don't think he fits in Orlando. I hope he gets traded to a contender where he can lock down the best player on the team. Jonathan Isaac is my number 6. If you don't like me putting him ahead of Michael Porter Jr., please drop in the comments. I would love to read these comments. I'll definitely be replying to all of them. So moving into my top 5, this is where it really starts to get good. Number 5, Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Memphis Grizzlies. Yes, he's classified as a power forward. I know that might be head scratching for most of you guys. He logged a lot more minutes as a power forward. Jonas Valanciunas is likely to stay on Memphis, so he will be playing a lot of the power forward minutes. Jaren Jackson Jr. That is, and I see him just being a career power forward with his size and mobility. Jaren Jackson Jr. I think will be a constant 2010 guy, like for the rest of his like real career, where he's not just super old or super young. He will be a 2010 guy running with Ja Morant like every year. I don't see him being much different. Sorry, I'm like touching my face a lot. I see Jaren Jackson Jr. being a very good power forward, a Kevin Love, if you will, in Minnesota. I see that being Jaren Jackson Jr. except better on defense, more mobile, can shoot the three pretty well. I love this player, and I think if Memphis can find a way to keep him and Ja Morant, which was my number 1 point guard together, if you haven't seen that video, go watch it. You're talking about the number 1 point guard over the next 5 years, and the number 5 power forward, which if you look at the guys ahead of this list, that is not bad at all. The number 5 power forward, the number 1 point guard going over the next 5 years, this team is a serious contender if they can surround him with pieces. And I am so incredibly excited to watch this Memphis team. That duo is incredibly scary, and I think Jaren Jackson Jr. will be a very good power forward going forward. Moving on to my 4, Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics. He is by far my favorite player to watch in the NBA. There are people comparing him to Kobe, and I'm one of those people. I think his game is complete all around, and every year he takes a jump in every area. He's a great defender. He can score on all 3 levels. He can play make, he can handle. He's incredible to watch. When Boston took him at 3, I was very skeptical, and I didn't like the pick. And I have proved he has proved me so wrong. It's ridiculous. Jason Tatum being at number 4 and being compared to Kobe shows you how incredible this list is. Jason Tatum will not like in his game be compared to James Harden, but like look at this. Like James Harden is almost always in the MVP running, like every year, and he might win. He wins one. I think Jason Tatum's a lot like the same, where he might be in that conversation every single year, and he might scrape one out. So that's why I had to put him in at 5 because, 4. Sorry, if you look at the guys ahead of him, they're winning MVPs. So I think Jason Tatum is going to probably win a Finals MVP with Boston. If they keep that core together, they're going to win the Finals one year. And Jason Tatum is the best player on that team. He's going to be a superstar. He's going to be an MVP candidate. Jason Tatum is legit. And so moving on from him, Zion Williamson is at number 3. Some of you might say Jason Tatum's ahead. Some of you say Zion's number 1 on this list. Please drop in the comments. I'm serious, you guys. I will be replying to every comment because this is such a great debate, this top 5 power forward list. Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans will be the superstar. People are saying he is the next LeBron, the next like generational talent, like the MVP, the dominant force. I don't see him being the like GOAT of this generation. I see him being incredibly good, and he's going to win MVPs. He's going to win Finals MVPs. He's going to be on All-NBA first teams. He's going to be an All-Star captain. Over the next 5 years, he will average 30 and 10. I'm a believer in that. I believe that towards the end of these 5 years, maybe if I made another 5-year list in 5 years, he would be number 1. He would be winning MVPs. Maybe he just starts to get his first MVPs at the end of this list. Zion Williamson is legit. From what we've seen, he didn't play a lot in his rookie year, but from what we saw, this man is incredible. If he played the whole season, he would have won Rookie of the Year, which is sad to say because I love Ja Morant, but the future of the NBA is in good hands with Zion and Ja. The only thing that could hold Zion back, and I guess this speaks for Ja too, is the injuries. They jump so high. Zion himself is so big with such a short, as such a short player. He's so big that there's definitely some injury-prone tendencies there, and I'm very worried for that. But I think Zion Williamson will be the third best power forward going forward, which says a lot if you see who's on this list. I'm so incredibly excited to watch his career. I'm happy to be an NBA fan at this moment. I watched Zion Williamson get his first career start, not in person obviously, but I watched him. I'm going to watch him finish his career. I'm so incredibly excited to be an NBA fan at this moment. And doing this top 5 power forwards list, I really hope you guys are enjoying it so far because I enjoyed making this list so much. We're going to get into the top 2 here. My number 2 is Anthony Davis. He just won his first ring. He's going to stay with the Lakers. He's going to stay with LeBron. He's going to win more rings, and he's going to be Finals MVP every year after this year that he wins a ring. He's going to be Finals MVP. I see him winning MVPs in the next 5 years. I think he's going to win 2. He's going to win a Defensive Player of the Year, maybe 2. We saw that the NBA gave out the Giannis MVP and the Giannis Defensive Player of the Year, which they don't really do that. If they were to do that, I think Davis, when he wins those 2 MVPs, he's going to win 2 Defensive Player of the Years with that. He's going to have an unbeatable resume. He's one of the best talents in my generation that I've seen play. He is incredible on all sides of the ball. On both sides of the ball, he can do everything. He can play perimeter defense for a big man. He can block shots like no other. He picks pockets like the best guard. He can shoot the 3. He can shoot the mid-range. He can work in the post. He can throw it down. He's athletic. He's fast. He's everything ever that you ever want. The Lakers traded Brandon Ingram and package, and they still won that trade. That's not to say the Pelicans got finessed, but Anthony Davis is all the hype. He will be a 30-10 guy with 2 blocks at his peak. He's incredible. And saying that he's number 2 on this list speaks volumes to who's number 1, which is Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's right here wearing his jersey, which if you didn't know, I'm wearing different jerseys in every video now. So if you subscribe, maybe I can get new jerseys. I don't know. He's up there. He's my favorite player. Giannis Antetokounmpo, with no bias, I think is our best player of our generation outside of Luka Doncic. He is 24 years old. He's a 2-time MVP, back-to-back. He's a Defensive Player of the Year winner. He's an MIP winner. He's the leader of this team, and he's the most dominant force since Shaq, except he's faster. And he's working on his shot. I think over the next 5 years, his shot will get there. We've seen him take strides. It's not there yet. Giannis will win 2 more MVPs at least in the next 5 years. And 1 more Defensive Player of the Year at least with that. Giannis is the best player in the league. There's no doubt about it. I'm not saying he's the best playoff player in the league, but he is the best player in the league. And as the Milwaukee Bucks make every effort to put a team around him, he will win a ring and undoubtedly be the Finals MVP. And I feel like that's the year that he stamps himself as this generation's GOAT. If you're not on the Giannis train, I don't know what will put you there. His flaw, like I said, is the 3-point shot. Some might argue that Anthony Davis is better than him. I wouldn't go that far. I think Giannis is just so incredibly dominant. He'll be a 30-10 guy, which I know I've said that about 3 guys now. But that just shows how I continue to say this. This power forward list is incredibly deep and incredibly talented. Giannis will be winning MVPs. He will be winning championships. He will be winning Defensive Player of the Years. He's one of the most likable players in the NBA. He'll be an all-star captain. Giannis is our number 1. And I will, at the end of this series, I'll make a top 5 players over the next 5 years. Combining all of my lists and taking it out there, he will be in the top 3. There's no doubt about that. The future is in incredibly good hands. Just to go over this list one more time, MPJ and Jonathan Isaac are honorable mentions. Jaren Jackson Jr. is my number 5. Jason Tatum is my number 4. Zion's my number 3. Anthony Davis at 2 and Giannis at 1. Leave your list down below because this is definitely a very controversial list. I could see if you had Jason Tatum at number 1. I honestly could. Anthony Davis, Zion, Giannis, all of them could be number 1s. If you had Jaren Jackson there, I don't know, you kind of tripping. But guys, please drop your list down below. Subscribe if you can't wait to see the signers list. I can't wait to make it. I don't know what video will be coming next, but just know it's going to be a banger. If you like this one, please leave a like. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.